I would tell you that we have a special guest today, but he's actually in every episode. We just don't see him. And his name is Bear Wade. Bear, welcome to Mysteries Mysteries.
Glad to be here.
We have an interesting story. We actually met many years ago at a camp out in Colorado. Shout out to Rainbow Trail. Woohoo! Yeah, it's just an outstanding place. And Bear and I knew each other for several years out there, and we hooked back up about, God, how many years ago was it?
Got to be close to 3, but something like that.
Yeah,
Don't you think? Something like
I
that?
think so. Pushing 3 years. And Bear is a documentary filmmaker as well as a marketing guru, et cetera, et cetera. And he asked me if I had any documentary ideas. And I brought one to him, and he thought, well, that's interesting. That's cool. But it's not necessarily like right in your wheelhouse, Eric. So what else do we have? And so Bear and I talked about it, and he came up with this idea. Well, you're in the school every day, and you deal with mental health every day. Why don't we do one on teen mental health? And so what we did is we ended up doing these documentaries on teen mental health. And the website that we use is something called Happymess. .net. Bear, would you be willing to just discuss a little bit about your process and our process in kind of developing the concept and the idea behind our episodes of documentaries on teen mental health?
I'd love to. I tell that story a little bit differently. I think you had a lot of really good ideas for documentary ideas. The one that that we were talking about doing was on serial killers, I believe. And I just could not live. When you're doing a documentary, you live and breathe it. It's the thing you talk about around the dinner table. And that after we started even just having our pre-production meetings, I was like, whoa, I don't know if I could have this with me all the time, And then, you being a high school teacher, I thought you brought it to me, the idea of teenage mental health being such a big thing. Anyway, so it's awesome that however we landed on it, and I'm so thankful for it because the more I'm learning about this subject, I have kids that are younger. They're just going to middle school, so now I'm a little. I haven't been as enlightened as you certainly are, living it every day. And so it's a real struggle. And the more that, we have been interviewing students and administration and teachers and professionals that are helping teens, the more I am realizing that even, you kind of know about the kids that are struggling with drugs or kind of the low hanging fruit are the ones that get talked about more, I guess, or the more obvious ones, but ones that kind of hit me harder were even the high achieving ones that were in all the sports are having major struggles with their mental health. And that kind of, I didn't even think about that, because they have to be good at all the things and keep their scores up and keep the grades up and show up to year round sports, and anyway, that whole thing was really interesting to me. It's all really hard, but interesting, very.
Yes. Yeah. So one of the conversations I do remember that we had as we were going through this process of what do we want to do for a documentary? This is stuff that I can't talk to my wife about. I'm not going to share with her about these serial killers, that sort of thing. It's like, I want something that we can share with, right? And it also kind of shifted because we had a much different direction when we first started the documentaries compared to where we're at now. You want to talk a little bit about kind of the darkness of our first documentary that we made, and then how after talking to some people that we really changed our shift in our.
I think originally we started designing a pitch piece, which is like a mock-up or a prototype or a pilot of what your first kind of look and feel and the direction would be. And that came out much darker and doom and gloom, I think, than we were. That after we kind of looked at it more and shared it with the people that we interviewed, our feedback, I think, was like it was really tough, and it was and I think we had a little too much dark. It was too dark, and so the point was to get people's attention, like, and bring them into this, and then show them this is something to pay attention to. We need to find solutions to it, which is still true, but I think the direction we've evolved into is like a day in the life, so to speak, of a student, and highlighting what they're going through, goods and bads, and then how they're either coping or dealing with or getting support, or through their mental health issues, struggles, and highlighting the support they're getting, and what's working for them. So
yeah, you said that perfectly. Like, just we just shifted from such doom and gloom to, you know what? There are people out there that are willing to help. There are organizations out there that are willing to help. As we were researching this, we had both, you could look at all the stats, like the number of child psychiatrists that we need in the United States. We could look at the number of psychologists that are unavailable to children, and those are all things that need to change, but can't change those ourselves. So we really changed that focus on what's out there for these teenagers and young adults, to help them find these safety nets and build these relationships that can benefit them. So
we're showing those psychologists and how they're helping, and then we're highlighting that we don't have nearly enough of them. And that's how we've switched. I love that switch, and I'm proud that we have been able to have some evolution of that take on things.
Yeah, for sure. So we are talking about happymess.net. Happymess.net is our website for the documentaries that producer director Bear Wade and myself helped to create. We have a few episodes that are done right now, and we would love to have the opportunity to stop by your school, your business, your nonprofit organization, anyone out there that would love to hear some of these stories. We are willing to come into your place of business, your work, and share these stories with you. And we have several documentaries done right now, and we'll just go ahead and highlight the 3 to 4 that Bear has been finishing up here. And so you'll have an idea of what some of the things that we have to offer. Bear, would you be willing to kind of share what just a mini breakdown of these docs? Yeah, thanks.
Sure. So I'm in a tangled editing mess, so I apologize if I don't have them all sorted out perfectly. But the ones that are sticking with me the most are we have one gentleman who was in high school, had struggled with his mental health, started hearing his internal thoughts were taking over, and he ended up finding a family member's shotgun and tried to get the pit in his stomach removed. And
the pit in his stomach being that anxiety that was just, that's where it's
taking
at.
over. Yeah. He was throwing up every morning before school, before the bus showed up, and he just was really struggling. And then having to deal now, after trying to after shooting himself, that he is now going to school. He's learned to get around using a wheelchair. He's driving on his own. He was interning at a job, and really has changed his life around. But what an amazing story! It was very impactful, for sure. That one's really sticking with me. The other one I kind of alluded to earlier, which is about a high school junior, I believe, and she was the softball catcher. She was the volleyball setter and basketball point guard, and she's going around trying to deal with being good at all these sports while keeping up her grades and putting up with fall ball and not putting up with, but just trying to be all things to all people and be good at these sports and not trying to break mentally. That's been a tough one. Another one is just, I guess, something that I really realized is that teenagers are dealing with a full schedule. For the most part, they get up at the crack of dawn, they go to school, they come home, they have homework, they probably have a job, they probably have extracurriculars, and then rinse and repeat by the time. And there's like very much little time to just be themselves, follow their own passions, and get to follow their own dreams, and so to speak, or their whatever is interesting them at the moment. And so that really to me was like, wow, that's building in any sort of margin or time for themselves is something that we need to advocate for.
Beautiful. And then we do have a couple other documentaries that we're finishing up now. One that was completed about a young man from a bigger city that ended up getting out of his house and an amazing recovery. Help of some organizations around our area that focus on young adult mental health, and another one on a young man who has self-harm and suicidal thoughts for a long time and is now in nursing school, just absolutely crushing it. So those are, I think, is that it? Are those the four right now that we're working on / completed? And so if you are interested at all, that's happymess.net. And this is not about some sort of, we're not making money off of this. We want to do whatever we can to help out our young adults and make the world a little bit easier for them during this very difficult day and age. So I want to thank our producer director, Bear Wade, for being in front of the camera instead of being behind it today. I'm the one with the face that's made for radio, yet he's the one that's behind the camera. So Bear, any last thoughts that you'd like to share about you and what you're doing with your company, what you're available for other people to do, and other opportunities, influencers, YouTubers, that type of thing?
Oh no, I just hope that people will get a chance to look at the start following Happymess, start sharing the stories when we launch, and just are able to create. I hope that not just us, but I hope that we are creating a new way of communicating about teenage mental health and pointing people to better solutions, and give people hope that there is something out there for them to change the way their narrative can go.
Well said. This is Mysteries. I'm Mystery. Make sure you like us, leave a review for us on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. And again, you can reach out to us if you're interested in us bringing our happymess.net to your school, university, organization, nonprofit, whatever. We would love to stop by and share one of our messages with you, or just visit the website and check it out. So Mysteries. I am Mystery. Thank you so much. We'll see.
Bye.